What's up, Days?
Hey, how are you?
Good, good. Thank you for coming on.
Yeah, thank you for having me. And there's people that joined too. Yay. Uh, Excited. Can you hear me okay? Is it kind of scratchy or anything like that?
No, you're coming through great.
Okay, perfect.
Awesome. Yeah, Katie, I don't know if Katie's gonna make it. I know she had a shootout in Alamo. She said she's gonna do the best she can to tune in, but I'm here. Jackie's here. I'm sure we'll have some other people jumping in.
Awesome.
Very excited about having you on. Thank you
Yeah,
again.
thank you. Hey, Jackie. What's up, Greg?
Goyo's one of our top listeners. He always listens in, and he never jumps on the mic, but he's always there. He's faithful follower.
Yeah, we appreciate it, but maybe we'll have to see if he says anything here or maybe one of the next shows. Absolutely.
I've tried, and he says he won't, but he's got some good stories to tell. So hopefully we can convince him.
Yes, always a good time. Oh, and there's Jamie. What's up, Jamie?
We'll turn on the mics and stuff in a little bit, but let's get because
Oh,
I know my son Sean's on. He's Blue Seven, and he's the one who's been doing all of our editing and YouTube and
that's
all
so.
that stuff. He's helping us archive. It's really awesome. Yeah, it's been really fun, and Katie did get a chance to log on, but let's go ahead and while she's doing that, go ahead and give us an intro. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into jujitsu.
Okay, perfect. So, hey everyone. Thanks again for joining in and getting to know, another Zia fam member. My name is, as you know, Desiree. I'm originally from California and lived there for about 10 years. And then before moving to Las Cruces, from there, kind of, I always wanted to move back to Southern California, but I think Cruces kind of grew on me. And I've been, so recently I've been an engineer for a few years. And while still working, I was like, you know what? I just thought, hey, let's fill up more of my time and go back to school. So I'm currently still working full time and going back to school, but I'm almost finished with it. So I guess I just like the challenges, challenging myself, setting myself up with goals and everything like that. So I just try and stay active, and even with the full plate on my hand. So one of the many challenges that I did was jujitsu, and so I started about going on almost 2 years, and thankfully, surprisingly, the beginning of this year, I did become a blue belt. So I'm just still going strong with that and hanging in there, hanging on for dear life. And there it is, loving it.
It's rough. And the topic of the day is progress, which can be hard to measure in jujitsu. I know when I met you, you were very big into weightlifting, right?
Yes. Yeah, lifted every day, added, I did cardio and um yeah, I was, set. I had that routine going, and then slowly I started to do a little bit more jujitsu and less lifting. And it is hard to find that balance, with full time and school, homework, and then still making time to be able to still be in the jujitsu world. And because lifting and stuff, you always know you just pick them up, put down the weights, and you're good. But having, jujitsu, it's like, no, you got to be there a little bit more so you can retain and you know uh, get used to that. But yeah.
Yeah, two very different activities. And I was just thinking about that, how, in weightlifting, it's very easy to see your progress. I mean, either you can lift more weights than you could before, or you could do more reps than you could before.
Hmm.
But in jiu-jitsu, there's a lot of more intangibles, and it's a lot different than, traditional weightlifting. So it's hard
Yeah.
to measure progress sometimes.
Yeah, I agree. But I think you do still need both. Um, so you can, get the strength and continue to have that strength on the mats as well. And um, I've seen a huge change just, from stopping lifting and focusing more on jujitsu. And it's like a different, just that it's more like resistance training at this point because you're pushing and pulling a person off of you and whatnot. And so.
Yeah, it's very interesting. We see a lot of people come in with a lot of different backgrounds and they've done different athletics or, been in different activities. But this really challenges the mind and the body in a new way. And it's interesting to see how everybody comes in and attacks that puzzle.
Yeah, no, I definitely can see that, and I really do appreciate it seeing it from me being there just for almost 2 years, and then seeing new people, seeing the newer women go in there as well, and seeing how they react to it. And I was like, well, I was there, and I'm still new considering, how far along away I have to black belt. But yeah, it's a lot of changes, a lot of mentality changes as well.
So, hi, apologies. I am driving. If I
Oh, hey, Katie.
hi, hey, headed back from White Sands. Super glad to have you on. So sorry if I pop out of nowhere. It's because my service is in and out. But I did want to ask you. I have always known you as a super fit, awesome, amazing lady, and I wanted to know: did you change your workout routine when you?
You kind of broke up towards the end there, but I did hear you say if I did change my routine with that, and yes, I did. I think I try. I will try and do lifting at least 3 times a week, whether it's like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or I'll change it to like Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, or mainly just focus on the weekend and upper body and lower body. And yeah, I feel like I completely changed in that area in where it was every day was a certain muscle group. Like, okay, Monday we do legs, Tuesday we do bis and tris, and so forth. But I noticed, oh, even though I do want to stay strong and I have a certain build that I like and I like to keep, I I've leaned more towards doing cardio type stuff. So I have a bike and, just riding my bike around to get the extra cardio because, running is hard for your shins and feet. And, I've had some injuries too. So it is a little bit easier like on certain body groups. But yeah, so I tend to do a little bit more cardio type stuff. And it's helped me a lot, because you do get really tired, on the mats, especially if you're doing longer than training like the 3, 5 minutes or the 10 minutes, on the mat, getting ready for a competition and stuff like that. I know it gets a little bit more involved, and I will up my lifting and up my cardio and up my jujitsu rolling and everything like that. So.
Would you recommend other people also lift? Do you think that's kind of an important part of a jujitsu game?
For me, I say more resistance training. I think that's a better way to do it, and just staying conditioned. So, I mean, you don't have to necessarily, and this is for me, like everybody's different, of course. So I'm not saying like this is the key to doing it, but like for me, I just, you can lift, you can still get the same workout, not have to lift the heaviest of weights or focusing on that. It's just, um, keeping active and staying active, staying like diet too. Like I feel like that's a huge thing. I don't like feeling sluggish. So and I'm not perfect. Like of course, after competitions I will kind of go more towards, eating bad, but then just have to keep going back to getting back on track and, drinking water, eating, clean and sticking to it, just staying consistent.
I can definitely relate to that. It comes in waves, and when you have a competition coming up, and then you tighten up the diet, you buckle down, you like you said, increase the cardio.
Yeah.
Uh, are there any competitions that you're looking at hitting anytime soon?
Given hopefully everything stays how it is body wise, as far as like, continually getting stronger in areas that I had injuries and not getting hurt anymore. But I am leaning towards the July one in Albuquerque. So hopefully everything flows so then I can definitely do that one. And so still a well, couple months I think out, and yeah, it would be perfect timing. I like to give myself at least and mentally like 2 to 3 months to prepare. And then I know it's like, all right, here you go. I am running before practice, and then I'm training, and then I am like eating super clean. I'm not cheating. I'm not doing drinking alcohol. I just, and depending on if I'm going to stay at this weight or cut down to, what I usually do. So a lot of little factors in there, but
So I've cut weight before. It really sucks. It's an ordeal. And eating after cutting weight is probably one of the most gratifying things I've ever done in my life. Do you have like a guilty pleasure, or is it, what's your go-to after a hard weight cut? What's the one thing you're looking forward to?
oh my gosh. Well, okay, I am more of uh, sweets are not like yeah, they're good, and they taste great, but I am more of, I need pizza, that saltiness, the chips and salsa, and yeah, I'll look for that. So if we do go for a restaurant afterwards, then it's definitely just being able to enjoy like a greasy pizza, and not caring, like, hey, you know what, I did what I had to do. I went out there, tried my hardest, whether I won or I lost, and just being out there too with all of you guys, and it's just all the support and everything like that just makes me feel much more like deserving of that pizza or tacos, or anything.
All of it, depending on how bad the weight cut is, man, you bring it all on afterwards.
Gosh, yes. I remember my first competition, I think I dropped 16 pounds. I had plenty of time to do it, but I was really like working out almost 2, 3 times a day, and I had a little bit more time during that time too.
Yeah, I remember we were doing mornings. I know we did like
Mhm.
5 a.m.s for a while, didn't we?
Yes. Yeah, that was nice.
It was really cool. And I know, you're one of those ladies too, the first ladies of the gym that really came in and made this your home, and kind of trusted us to continue training. And you guys really paved the way for all the other females that are training there now, because it's really become an inviting atmosphere for everyone.
Yeah, I really enjoy it too, because I mean, when I first started, I remember, it was me and Jackie, and then Katie was in the morning class, and we were kind of opposite, but we kind of started around the same time, and then Itza around the same time, and now we have a handful of ladies, and they're gonna be the OGs and staying sticking around. So, but I do look forward to more women getting involved, and being that person, like, hey, reach out to me, I've been doing it for this long, or um, and any questions, because I know when I started I had tons of questions, and I still do, but just going along with it, and yeah, just enjoying it.
Yeah, it's a learning process, and I personally have enjoyed being part of just watching your transformation. Because again, when I first met you, you were very big into weightlifting, and that was a big passion of yours,
Yeah.
and you were very good at it. Um, and then to see how you kind of came in and you saw jujitsu, and you're like, okay, you kind of recalculated everything, and
Hmm.
you've adjusted your schedule to still, the workload that you're carrying with, job and school, and as much training as you do
Hmm.
is awesome. But it's been cool to see that transformation, and it's shown in your Instagram, because I think your Instagram handle was something had something to do with lifting weights, and now you were the jujitsu lady for a while.
Yeah.
So I like seeing stuff like that. It's really cool for me as a coach.
It's really good. I really liked it. I just like seeing, looking back and seeing just how, like, I had no idea what I was doing at first. And it was like just learning, a huge learning curve for me, where I'm like, oh, you can call out any, when I was low weightlifting, like, you can call out any type of like exercise. And it's like, oh, yeah, I know what that is. So
Mhm.
I know it's really rewarding.
Yeah, and so talk about that a little bit. Your first competition, how you were into that, and now looking at it as a blue belt. How is that different?
Um, yeah, so my first comp, being that person that likes to take on challenges, that competitive um nature, I felt I was ready. I wanted to go in there as soon as I could to compete and show, like, hey, I'm strong. I have this and that. So um, I thought I was ready, but I everybody has to start somewhere, and I feel like with my first comp, and it was a big group that went also, so that was really encouraging, and I felt the support, and it was just really fun with everybody. So, but I did a lot of the wrong things that I definitely changed now. When I first got there, I look for my opponent or opponents, and I was like trying to look them up, seeing, what kind of advantages can I have like before I can get on the mat. And then we had no idea. Like my first opponent was I'm 5'4", and my opponent seriously was like 6 foot something, and we're the same weight in the weight category. So I like just looked up and I kept looking up and I thought, oh shit, like I didn't practice for this. Like I thought it was gonna be the same height or at least maybe shorter or something. That's what in my mind. So kind of freaked out there, and then I did end up getting an injury because we're both trying to take each other down, and I just felt my shoulder come out of my socket, and I I never knew how much adrenaline played a factor because I didn't feel anything, and I felt like just a normal pop, because being young, I was into gymnastics and cheerleading. So I did the backflips and everything like that. And I naturally like popped almost every joint in my body because of the fact, I was always, doing something like that. But so yeah, from there, we just went on and kept doing the match until we finished. And I didn't feel anything until after everything settled, and I tried to change, and I just couldn't lift up my shoulder, and so then I knew tore something and tore a couple tendons in there. But from now to the last competition that I did, it was now I just do more of the positive type YouTube videos, or I know what to do. Like I know what I have to do as far as eating and drinking and cutting and conditioning, and I listen to a lot of positive type motivational videos on the way to work, like the week before, even a month out. First thing I do is I wake up and I will listen to something like that. I will do more stretching because yoga has definitely played a huge part in, like, opening up my hips and, really stretching areas that I didn't think was, needed to be stretched. But so yeah, now I don't look at see if my opponent, who it is. I just go out there now and I'm like, I'm just gonna have a fun time. I'll talk to my opponents too if I know like beforehand, and as long as they're willing to too, and it's like, yeah, we can joke around and still have fun, and then go on the mat, and it's like, it doesn't mean that we're friends, but it doesn't mean I have to be catty and give you dirty looks just to compete with you. So yeah, I just felt very humbled, and throughout the almost 2 years, and so it's been really good. I felt really like clear mind, and getting that mindset out. Like, you know what, you already know what you're gonna do. You already have everything that you prepared for, and it can only go both ways. And you just hope for the best, and nobody gets hurt or injured.
Absolutely. And I if I remember correctly, that first comp was that the Naga during like the lockdown and all that stuff.
Yes. That
Okay.
was, I think it was El Paso or Albuquerque.
I think that, yeah, it was El Paso, and that was a really big one. I think they had over 800 competitors. Still one of the biggest competitions that we've had in this region.
Mhm.
And man, I remember seeing your opponent because everyone was nervous. We're a new school, and we go out there and I see that girl, and she's just so big. I was like, oh my gosh, anybody but her.
I was looking around like, no, this has to be wrong. There's someone else in my category.
You know what's weird though, and I've been in the bullpen before, and you're around, and you're trying to look and see who's a competitor, who's not, and size everybody up, like who's in my division, who looks like they
Mhm.
could be my size.
Yeah.
I've always had this gut feeling at competitions where I'm like, I see somebody and I'm just like, I know I'm gonna have to fight that fucking guy, and sure enough, it happened.
Yeah, it's just that weird, like, I don't even know how to explain it to you because she walked by us at the beginning, and I thought, no, there's no way that that can be my competitor or my person. And of course it was. Yeah,
It's
something.
crazy. Yeah, it's you somehow, some part of you subconsciously just knows. I remember my first comp, I looked at the guy standing like three people behind me, and when I looked at him, I was like, "There's no way he's 190." Because back then I had to get cut to get to 190. But I looked, I was like, "No way he's 190." And I get on the scale, I had to cut just to make weight, and he walks on. Sure enough, he's in my division. I was like, "Son of a bitch!"
Shit, man.
It can get rough. Uh, But no, it's great. I love, again, I've loved seeing your transformation athletically because you came in as an athlete, but you've really found a good balance between everything. I've seen you do yoga plus lifting weights plus all the technique. You do striking, you do grappling. It's awesome. You mix it all up, and I love that you've enjoyed martial arts like this and seeing you experience it.
Yeah. Thank you for all your help and Professor Spencer and even everybody else on the mat too. And that's what I like, um the support. It's like, you know, if you're doing something wrong, I have that willingness to learn, so I'm not going to take offense to it. And it's like, I want to hear that, hey, you're not heavy enough for this type of position or whatever you're doing, whatever the case is, or maybe try it like this next time. And so, like, I really appreciate that. And like with the whole team, and through getting more comfortable working with the women and getting comfortable being that close, but then now with our group being comfortable and getting close with someone that's taller than you, a male, and just the strength wise and everything, and seeing everybody's strengths and weaknesses, and working together. So
That's awesome. And again, thank you again. Right now, I'm going to open up the lines. I know we had a couple of people who had questions. Katie, while I'm doing that, feel free if you're in a position to make a comment and you have one.
I did want to say, Des, I've always appreciated your sportsmanship and your can-do attitude.
We love you, Katie, but you're cutting out. Hopefully, she can jump on. We still got time. There's no rush, but Rob can go on. I know Rob's on.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
hey, Rob.
Hey.
Thank
So,
you.
yeah, Des, I want to say, like, watching you, I've seen you improve so much, and I really think you're going to do awesome in this sport. And for a lot of people that don't know, Des is the one that introduced me to Zia and was the one that got me to go to Zia. So I always thank Des all the time for getting me into the Zia family. So thank you
Yes.
again, Des, for getting me into the Zia family and getting me into jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, no, it's really good too to see you, and you talking about your experience in judo, and then bringing that on the mat as well, and being able to show us stuff that you've learned along the way, and then us being work buddies and friends and stuff outside of it. And yeah, it was like, I think you didn't have a choice, because at work I was like, that's all I talked about. So and so that was kind of nice, just bantering about that back and forth. And but yeah, I'm glad that you joined, and I'm glad that you're there and doing the comps, and um, also one of the being supportive, and a great teammate. So yeah, I'm glad that you're there
Thanks,
too.
Des.
Yeah, of
Thank you.
course. Yeah.
So, a little bit of that while Katie's connecting. So, you said he didn't have a choice. Wait, when you first found jujitsu, did you talk about it a lot?
Yeah, I did. It was like, it was so new and foreign to me, because I've done all kinds of different sports, and different types of things. And so it was just like, wow, why didn't I ever get into this sooner? Or I don't think I really had a lot of family that grew up doing stuff like that, or that type of sport. And so hearing it now, and there's so much different martial arts and types and stuff. But I am glad that the first one that I tried was, jujitsu. So yeah, I had to. I just kept talking about it with Rob, and from there he's like, I'm gonna try and go. And then sure enough, he started going and changed it all up.
Yeah,
And that's all Des and I talk about at work too. It's really funny.
We talk about comps and well, everything, geese and
no, that's awesome, and I'm glad you brought Rob. Rob's a really good guy, and hopefully, Jackie's brother Rob might be coming down this weekend, so I'm going to try to drag him on the mat if we can.
oh
But it
Oh, I
was,
cannot wait to see Boosty.
yeah, man, it's a really small world, but I'm glad you guys are in this part of our world, and you practice with us, and you make the gym a better place. It's really fun having people to train that are like you guys, and I really enjoy it. Yeah, I really appreciate it. Happy belated birthday, by the way, Des.
oh, thank you so
Yes.
much.
Next Friday's episode might be broadcast live from Dez's birthday party, so we're not too sure about that yet, but that might have to go down. We can do a question and answer portion, but I mean, I was gonna make an on the mat drinking game, so we'll see if we can get that going. What's up, Daniel? Man, you got something to
Oh,
say?
I was just wondering if, as a good friend of you and Jackie, if Des had any good stories, something funny about you guys training together.
Let's see. Maybe Goyo can help me with this one. Yeah, we have a lot of fun stories like uh the road trip going to the comps, and then we'll usually get an Airbnb and um play karaoke, just play games outside, and I remember Coach Mark and Goyo singing the song after me and Jackie were singing. Oh my gosh, that was so funny.
So
uh
that was probably one of our first big like team bonding trips, and again, we were a new gym, but
mhm.
there are probably some funny videos floating around of me and Goyo singing Nickelback and Prince songs.
I remember. Oh, well, when we first started, we would go right after rolling on Fridays. Everybody would get together and go to the boneyard or the yeah, boneyard, or there's something, one other one. I can't remember. But yeah, that brewery. And then we would all end up like doing jujitsu, or what was Spencer doing? Is
Yeah, that was
yeah,
Goyo's birthday, wasn't it?
yeah, that was one of Goya's birthday.
Yeah, that was a good one too. I think we have a picture of that one, and we'll try to maybe throw it in. If Sean can throw that in uh,
Nice.
on the YouTube video. Uh, we all went out for Goyo's birthday. We were at Boneyard that night downtown, and we ended up just a mass group of us doing jujitsu downtown in the middle of the road. So that was a good time.
Yeah, and it was like wherever we went, we all kind of went together as a group, and no matter what, we were at somebody's house, one of Goyo's friend's house, and sure enough, it was like a little bit went by, and we're doing jujitsu. We're rolling on the floor of some person's house that we just met.
That is that's probably a topic for another episode, is drunk rolling and why top 10 reasons why you should avoid it. Because I've woken up with so many sore joints or scrapes and bruises, and I didn't remember, I usually get arm barred when I'm drunk, so I need to watch out for that.
And then you have Pete dancing in the background.
Yes, it's
Oh
it's
my.
really fun, and that's another topic that I wanted to bring up, and we'll hopefully have in a later episode in coming weeks, is relationships at the gym. And I know a lot of people talk negatively about relationships at the gym, like dating and problems, and that does happen. But you form an awful lot of really positive relationships at the gym also, and I think that's one of the main reasons why we started this podcast, and I think it's one of the reasons why we really enjoy the art so much. We've got a ton of Goyo stories, and I'm trying to get him on, man. But I mean, it,
Uh,
there's a ton of really funny ones. He's holding out on us.
Come on, Greg. Yeah, no, I love it. I really like the bond that we have all together as a group when we go out and look out for each other. And then on the mats, when, just all of the women and how much we have grown together and helped each other out, and, not be catty, and, understand each other. We're all different, and some people get hurt, and so they don't come back for a while, and then it's like when they come back, it's just very welcoming, like no matter what. So
It is. It's nice to know that there's a place like that, that no matter how long you've been away, whether it's because of injury, whether it's because of life and other things coming up, you always have a place to come back to, and you're always going to be welcomed when you're back. And I think that's something really important to have in this day and age.
absolutely. Yeah. I felt um from getting injured, it was huge for me because I was like, man, I can't do anything. And I was like, I can't compete. Oh, I'm going to lose all of my skills. I'm not going to know what to do when I come back. And so it was very like, it, it was just so weird just having that feeling. But then once I started coming back to it, and then I'm like, yeah, I mean, there's some people that break, a lot more than what I've done, but and then seeing them come back too is really encouraging and motivating, and like seeing more of the, upper belts too. And everybody, it happens to everybody. So
Absolutely. We all have to balance. And I think you made great points earlier about, doing different things for cardio and making sure that you stay healthy and preventing injuries, which is a huge part of doing this. Jamie, I know you're on. Go ahead, man.
I just want to say it's great to hear Des on the podcast, and you guys having a great conversation here. And I wanted to tell her that I always appreciate her at the gym, and on going to comps and some of the fun times we've had. And I'd like to say that beyond being just an overall great person, she is one of the people that I think exemplifies the better aspects of jujitsu and what it brings into your life, both physically and mentally and friendship wise. And yeah, I think you're a fantastic resource and attribute to have as a training partner and a friend.
thank you, Jamie. Yes, I feel same. I mean, we've gone on the same road trips, together on a group, listening to different music and singing, and you had to put up with a lot of my singing. So
Oh no, it's always a good time.
yeah, a lot of laughs, and like even when I did get that first injury at the first comp,
I remember that was in El Paso.
yeah, you were there, and you're just always like that nurturer, and you're always prepared, and I feel like I am the that, but as for me, I feel like I like to be prepared, always have, they got this ready to go and whatnot. But yeah, you always are ready and supportive, and yeah, he really helped out and gave me a lot of advice and tips on, how to get this shoulder back to normal. So
Yeah, been there myself.
yeah, I do. Yeah, but I do appreciate you too. It's always fun. And
You guys went to Vegas to Worlds, didn't you,
Yeah,
together?
yes, yeah,
That
yeah,
was a really good one, and I know I didn't get to go to that one, but I mean, you were really early into your jujitsu journey, and Worlds in Vegas must have been a really great experience. Do you guys have any stories or anything you'd like to share about that?
it was great overall. I mean, the pressure of competing was there, but then once that was over, it was just a fantastic venue to be at and see all the competitors. I remember on the last day, they had I couldn't even remember how many black belts they had competing, and also too was really impressive and kind of inspiring was they had people in the age class like they were like masters 8 and they're still out there competing, so it was really cool. Everything from the jiu-jitsu con the day before we competed where they had all the young kids to yeah, it was a fantastic experience, and we had some good times and enjoyed Vegas the way you normally do enjoy Vegas also.
Did
yeah,
you did you say Masters 8?
Yeah, they were like in their 50s and 60s. You
Oh
could
man, I got Jackie
uh,
looking it up right now. I was like, wow, Masters 8. I can't believe that.
yeah, there were people out there like and it wasn't just onesies and twosies of them. I mean, there were whole stacked divisions with like, 7 or 8 people in a bracket and they're all in their like mid 50s.
yeah, men and women. So it was
Yeah.
really see that, like, hey, you can do that at an older age and still compete too. No, that was really good for me to go there. That was, I think, the end of the year, and just finishing off, that was like icing on the cake for me, because I not only got to compete in that and get to, see all the people that I follow, well, a lot of people that I follow on Instagram, and a lot of really big names, and then just the energy that you have there. Like, we're all there. Once we go in there, everybody has just like a certain walk, a certain look, and you're like, okay, we're all in here to do the same thing. And
Yeah, that's what I think is so cool. I've had the chance to go to a few of the IBJJF stuff and to, rub shoulders or be standing right next to somebody that you've seen either on YouTube or that you saw, on Instagram teaching techniques. It
Mhm.
it's very cool. I know that my first one was Rafael Lobato, and we got to Dallas, and I just started walking around, and I look, and there's a black belt match starting, and it's him. And I was like, man, I literally just watched a YouTube instructional of his, 2 days before that.
So cool. Yeah, it was really cool to just walk around there and just take it all in, and then you get to celebrate afterwards, and that's the best way, be in Vegas.
That's what I've always heard, and I'm still looking to get my Vegas trip in for a comp. But the best thing about it is that once the comp is done, you number one, you didn't black out on your first day in Vegas, which is a huge hurdle for a lot of people.
Yeah. Or
And then number two, you get to enjoy Vegas, more than a lot of people get to do. So it's awesome. Hope I get to do it soon.
yeah, absolutely. I think the next that one is gonna happen in September, I think. I'm not sure the date.
Yeah, and I think Jackie was looking, I think, that Masters thing up for me.
Yeah, so it's anyone, excuse me, it's anyone before 1956, so around 66 years old, roughly,
Oh,
for the
wow.
Masters 8. They only listed Masters 7 on the website, but it kind of gave a little glimpse into what Masters 8 age was, and it's anyone before 1956.
Oh,
So, and then I just
yeah.
also wanted to just step on and just say, hello, and how much I love having you at the gym, how much your energy, it really does inspire me. Like, I love that you do all the different classes. And the times that I'm able to do it, I love that we can pair up and we get to work together. But I know Mark always separates us and has us working with other people. But I love
Yeah.
when I have you there, dude, for everything, for the striking, the kickboxing, the cardio, yoga, jujitsu, everything. So I can't wait to see you again
Yeah.
for a competition soon.
Oh, it's gonna be good. Yes, you too. It is motivating because like we're like around the same height and weight ish, so it's like really cool to see our competitors and just like what we've gone through and everything, and just being friends and being able to talk and having a good bond, like just being there for each other. So yeah, it's always fun.
I know you've mentioned it a couple of times, and you talked about like experiencing women being catty, or you even feeling those emotions yourself, right?
Yeah, like I have never done um one of the bodybuilding competitions. I was close about like maybe 7 years ago, maybe a little bit longer. But then I did get some herniated disc, and I wasn't able to finish doing that, but I was starting to. And yeah, you have the cattiness, and that's why people leave gyms, because you have those clicks where no one's trying to help you, and it's like that's one of the places that you think that you would have more help, because or have more encouraging, because it's like it takes a lot. You do have that anxiety whenever you walk into the gym and you're just like seeing all of these muscled up people, and you're just like, oh my gosh. But not just that, but like on different types of sport teams and stuff like that, you will have that. And so I really appreciate that we've been able to kind of like keep that at a very low to of cattiness. Like I don't think I've experienced that with us. And we all have that willingness to learn, attitude, and so and open-mindedness, and so it isn't taken the wrong way or anything. So I like that about us.
Yeah, I bring it up because I mean I know Jackie and I have talked about it a lot. When she first started watching MMA, she really couldn't grasp. She's like, she's like, how can guys like fight each other and then hug right afterwards? And I feel like for women, there's a lot more emotion tied to fighting than it is for guys. And
Hmm.
I know for me, like in that first competition I was talking about, I made really good friends with the guy that beat me, and like you start following each other on Instagram, and I know Goyo's done that with a bunch of people that he's competed with.
Hmm.
But with women, is there like a different mindset, or is it just like maybe competitiveness, amongst women?
Definitely. I feel like, yeah, you can read it all on our faces, I think. Well, maybe my face, I don't know. Like my first competition, you could probably tell, but I can definitely, like with that last Vegas comp that I did, the girls, we were all in the same pen and we are all waiting and anxiously, ready to get out there. And I think that's what really helped. Like one of the girls that I competed with, she was so nice, and so we were the same age, same weight, usually, but she wasn't mean at all, and it was just like, oh my gosh, I want to be your friend. Like I met somebody new, has the same mentality as me. Like I don't want to go out there and just give you dirty looks, but a lot do because they want to have that intimidation factor, and I mean sometimes you just kind of get in your head a little bit more too. So just I think it's just kind of a mental thing as well. But
That was another point that you brought up that I made a note to bring up or highlight was you talked
hmm.
about mindset, and you talked about like your preparation for a comp and how far out you'd like to start getting your mind ready. Now,
Hmm.
this is something that I've asked to the group, and you've seen, when you get into a comp, is it more mental or is it more physical? And I think it'd be a great topic for another night. And I'd love to see, like, hear people's thoughts on it, because the mental aspect of going into a competition matters just as much as the physical. And some would say maybe more, but I know a lot of people, and me myself personally, struggle with it up to, all the way up to right now. I still, it's all about mentality when I step on the mat, I believe.
Yeah, no, I feel that too. I think that that is another factor that has definitely helped me progress in this field is, staying humbled, because I definitely got humbled on that first competition, and just having that open mind, good attitude, walking on the mats with your teammates as well as your opponents, and just wanting to learn from all belts. Like I've learned from belts, same belts, and upper and even lower too. Like just trying to keep that open mind. Like maybe I stepped wrong or did something, and not being stubborn about it, like what do you know, you or like I know it all kind of attitude. Like I definitely never want to bring that on there, because I don't think I would get as much help as I do, because I
Yeah.
about all that. And then enjoying the sport, like me and Goyo, one of the many conversations that we have had is, we we are enjoying this sport, and that's why I've kept going and kept wanting to do this, because it's like you enjoy it. When it starts becoming to where, you feel like you're doing a job, or you feel like, it's not fun, it just ruins it for you. And so I really like that. I still enjoy it, and I want to continue moving up a belt, and seeing where I am, 10 years from now with that.
That's awesome to hear. And I know, we talked about Goyo not jumping on the mic and stuff like that. Maybe we'll drag him on soon. But I have to say, I mean, this is the first time I've told anybody in public, is Goyo has always been, my favorite student. And I've always been so invested in his progress until you started. And then it was you, because Goyo stopped training. And I love you both, but man, again, I'm so invested in your progress as a martial artist. You've mentioned getting a black belt, and you're another person that I would love to see you, wear a black belt one day.
Oh yes, that'll be such an emotional time. But thinking when I first walked on the mat, saying, "I'm just gonna do this a couple times a week just to get my cardio in for my stuff," to where I'm like complete flipped it around, and now I'm like, man, I want to learn as much as I can, and I want to do it right, and I want to be technical, and um, yeah, just keep continuing to get better. And but yeah, I do appreciate that, because I mean it means a lot, and it makes me want to keep going. And it, improving and impressing my coaches and everybody. So
Yeah, I mean, you're doing great, and I love a lot of the stuff that you brought up about, just in this last conversation. Humility is huge.
yeah.
I've been humbled a lot in this sport, and I learn all the time. Even I've been doing this for 6 years, and I think I'm pretty good at it. And even now, white belts are teaching me stuff. So it's amazing, and not just on the mat, but even off the mat. People and their different accomplishments in life is, I learn from that also. So it's a beautiful part of what we get to do.
Yeah, I think I love that part as well, is that we all have different jobs and different, personal lives and different personalities, and no matter what that is, we still have jujitsu as our common factor, and we all get along great. Like that's it's so cool to see all of that.
Absolutely, we always know we can bond about something,
Hmm.
whether it's rash guards or acai or what have you. But it's a beautiful thing. You mentioned like having a group that's always going to be accepting, no matter how long you've been away. We don't judge whether you wanted to go on a 3-month binge eating spree, or whether you got injured or life just got in the way. But jiu-jitsu's always there, and the mat's always there. And luckily, we have good training partners also. Des, again, thank you so much. I love this conversation. If anybody, the mics are still open. If anybody wants to make a comment or has a question, feel free to jump in.
All right, y'all, can you hear me? I just got into Cruces.
Hey.
Okay, cool. First of all, the statement that you couldn't hear earlier was me just complimenting your sportsmanship. I think like talking about competing and stuff, something that really, really disgusted me at the last competition we were at was two no-name coaches talking smack about their child competitor, and it bugged me so much. Like it's still under my skin. And I appreciate that when you go out and compete and you have such a good attitude, the kids see that, and the little girls who are competing look up to you and they're like, man, I can be here and be an awesome person and a great competitor. You know what I mean? So I'm so glad that you're out on the mats doing that, and I hope you compete again, because you're such a great influence on those individuals, those little kids.
Oh, Katie, yes, I appreciate you. And another great friend. And yeah, I completely agree with that, because it's like you don't realize how many people are looking up to you, or how many people are like, wow, like she could do it, I can do it. And then on the mats, off the mats, and yeah, like so much from just being a little kid looking up and seeing how you handle your sportsmanship. So
Very much so. I mean, I could talk all day about the kids, and the kids watch us a lot. And you don't think, I mean, even if you just show up for adult class and you don't think that the kids are watching you on their way out or while they're training, man, they do. And it speaks volumes to how you carry yourself. You never know who you're going to influence. And we've talked a lot about influence on this show,
mhm.
where you never know how you're going to influence someone, and you always want that to be positive. But I enjoy the fact that we've been able to train with a lot of really, really good people and really good martial artists. All right, guys, well, thank you so much for joining in. Des, once again, blue belt at Zia Martial Arts, it's been a pleasure training with you. I look forward to seeing you compete again. And if you ever have any free time, feel free to jump on, and we'd love to hear your thoughts and your point of views on stuff.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for having me. Thank you for listening. I really enjoyed this, and being able to, just share my experience with you. And so if you have any questions afterwards, please hit me up. And you know where to find me. I'll be on the mats at Zia.